Greetings and welcome to another episode of The Common Passenger, where we talk all things international. It is I, Tono, and as always, Betka is making sure we don't get carried away in here with our very special guest. On this fine day, I have the ultimate pleasure of talking to somebody who made international exchange possible even through the darkest age of traveling, as we used to know it. Ladies and gents, meet Erika Štefanková of IAESTE Slovakia, the responsible for exchange. Ahoy, Erika.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for sacrificing a bit of your time for some of our silly questions. Let's get to them right away. What was your reason to choose India as your destination?
So, funny story, it was not my first priority. As I was choosing, I chose Macedonia because I wanted to go like somewhere near and like for the first time, and then I would decide maybe to go somewhere like far away. But someone else got the internship, so my second choice was for some reason India. And so they assigned it to me and I was like, yeah, so okay, I will just try that. I wanted to like step out of my comfort zone, and this was a great way to do it.
What were your expectations before you came to India?
So my expectation was to experience different cultures, different religions, to meet new people, and it definitely made it possible. So
tell us a bit more about your first few days there. What was it like?
So the first day was definitely a shock. Not only cultural, but the weather was completely different. When I landed, it was like 40 degrees outside. And the guys that met me at the airport took me to the dormitories. And dormitories were not at all as pictures showed. So it was kind of not disappointing, but yeah, a shock. And then I met my supervisor for the internship, and she took me to get something to eat.
What kind of people did you meet there?
I've met a lot of different people. I've met people from 13 different countries, and of course people from India, and it was really incredible because they showed me completely different world and they taught me a lot, and it was really amazing to meet them, and I'm still in contact with some of them, so it is really nice to.
And about the native people of India, the Indians, I know that India uses English as it's one of the main languages there, so I imagine that language barrier was not a problem to communicate with locals. Am I correct?
Unfortunately, no. I've also read that before I went to India, and this is actually not true. When I met people outside, people who were not responsible for us or not interns, there was a big language barrier, but they were really nice. They were trying to communicate with hands and feet and everything. So it was really nice how much they were trying to help us when we were asking something. And also when we were trying to get a taxi, for example, they didn't speak English at all. So the only way to get a taxi was to just repeat the destination, the starting point of the ride over and over again, but eventually they got there, so yeah, that was nice.
Just get an Uber. It's so simple.
Yeah.
So where did you live and what was it like?
So we lived in dormitories. There were separate buildings for boys and girls, of course, and it actually looked like it's under construction still, but it was not that horrible. It looked definitely different as in the pictures, but I don't know, it really wasn't that bad. I actually slept with the lizard ones and with the mouse ones, but they were friendly, so it was fine.
Well, you shouldn't play with your food. What was the cuisine there like? Do they eat mice and lizards?
I'm actually not sure about that. I didn't encounter that in the menu, but at the dormitories they were serving actually not that spicy food, so that was really nice. And also they had a cafeteria where we could buy some fast food or something. So it was quite nice. But in the cities, and while we were traveling, it was definitely there were more options, and we experienced a lot of different foods because we were traveling in all around the India actually. Yeah, so it was definitely spicy sometimes, but you just get used to it after some time. So it was okay.
What were some of your favorite meals there?
Well, I'm trying to remember some of the names of them, but I have no idea. But yeah, like paneer tikka masala and stuff like this, stuff that also people in Slovakia, I think, knows. I don't know. It was really there were a lot of them because every part of India has its own food and own dishes, so it's really hard to remember, and they were really complicated.
You know, Indian food is everywhere. You can taste it all over the world. Would you say that it's better? And how much better is it in India?
I actually tried it a few times in Bratislava, and it was quite authentic. Not every Indian restaurant in Slovakia is authentic, but when you are lucky enough, you will get real great Indian food even here. But it's definitely different there, as they have local spices and the local paneer and local things. So, but I would say it's maybe comparable. It's not that completely different. It's completely different, of course, from Slovak meals, but it's not completely different in Indian restaurants here. So that's really nice to so it's really nice to relive the memories of the food even here.
That's great to know. Okay, enough about the food. I know that you traveled entire India just to taste some of the meals, but maybe you visited some nice places along the way. Would you tell us a bit more about your traveling experience in India?
Yeah, sure. My dream when I went there was to go to Mumbai, and we went there after I think 6 weeks or 7, and we were quite small group. There were only 5 of us, if I remember correctly, and so I felt really safe there. Even if it's known as maybe a dangerous city, I really didn't felt like it at the moment, and. And other than Mumbai, we went to, for example, Surat. Surat was my last trip, and it was I think, the best trip I had while I was in India. It was, I would say, like small city, but small city for India. It was definitely bigger than, for example, Bratislava or maybe Vienna. But there was a situation, and I have really great memories of that. So we were trying to find scooters so we can move around the city more comfortable. And as it was so big, we didn't want to walk. And we were not able to. And Surat is known as a technological city, and so we were really disappointed actually in that. And we met one guy, and he asked us what are we trying to find, or if we are lost. And we were like, no, we are just trying to find scooters. And he just grabbed his phone, and he was trying to find some scooters for us from his friends or colleagues or stuff. And he was not able, unfortunately. So we just say yeah, thank you. We went away, and after 10 minutes, he came by on a scooty and with some other guy with a microphone and a camera, and he was like, yeah, I'm working for news in Gujarat, and I would like to have a talk with you if we are okay with it. And so yes, that's the story of how we were on news in Gujarat at 11 p.m. I think. but it's a nice memory.
So as a rising TV star and media personality, would you share maybe some other experience you had there? Maybe something absolutely crazy and something you wouldn't want to tell your parents? Because I imagine you definitely bragged about how you were on the TV.
Yeah, of course I bragged about it. It's, I think, okay, so the craziest thing I did in India was definitely one time when we were at the party, and we were at that bar for the second time, and it was a rooftop, and it had a pool, and but it was only only guests could go to the pool, and we were like really sad that we cannot go there. And but the first time we just went away. We just was like, yeah, if we are not supposed to go there, we won't. And the second time we went there, we were like, yeah, it's like maybe 1 or week 2. So the second time we went there, we were like, yeah, it's only 2 weeks left until we are going to leave. So we will we have to take advantage of it. And we were just trying to figure out the way to get to the pool. So the idea was that someone will pretend to have a heart attack, and after everyone and guards and everyone will go to that person, other guys will just jump into the pool. So of course, who was the person who was pretending to have a heart attack? Of course, me. And so I was there standing in the middle of the dance floor, and I was like, oh my god, I'm having a heart attack. And I just fell on the floor, and everyone was like standing still. And after like 2 or 3 seconds, everyone was around me and like, what is going on? Are you okay? And stuff. And when I was lying there, I've heard that splashes and everything, that people are jumping to the pool. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. So yeah, that is actually the craziest thing I did there.
I would never doubt your acting abilities to be able to play Heart Attack.
Thank you.
Back to something more serious. Can you tell us a bit more about your job there?
So my job was to create an application where users can create tasks, and it was actually something like a task manager or something. They were supposed to assign it to professors or teachers and to students, of course, and there was like a hierarchy of like professor was at the top and there were teachers and stuff. And so I was creating this application in the language I already knew. And the funny thing is that they don't have this working schedule as we know it. They only work for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and they are resting in between. And so I was really not used to that, because I was already working for like more than a year at the time. And so it was quite funny when I met my supervisor, and she was like, okay, so just do this, and you have a whole week for it. And I did it in 2 days, and I was like texting her that it's already done, and what am I supposed to do next? And she was like, yeah, well, are you sure it's correct? And I was like, yeah.
Well, if you ask me, 4 or 5 hours a day is 4 or 5 hours a day too much. What kind of people did you encounter on your workplace?
I've actually didn't encounter that many different people. I've met only my supervisor and other interns, of course. But on my last day, I met the head of the whole university, because he came for the final presentations we had, and there were a few professors, and I was showing them the final product actually. So it was actually quite nice that they were really interested in what were we doing during the internships. And so yeah, so that's like all of them.
How did it help you in your professional career?
So for me, it was not that professional internship. As I already said, I was working at the time for a year, maybe more. So for me, it was more like continuing in my job, because I was doing actually almost the same thing. But other than that, it definitely helped me in my personal life or personal skills. It helped me, of course, to step out my comfort zone, and I was more comfortable to be around people, and I communicate better, I think. And it definitely improved my English. I hope you can hear that. And yeah, it definitely helped me more on the personal level.
When you went to India, I imagine you had some stereotypes about the Indian culture. Would you say that the internship there changed the way you thought of it?
Yeah, so the stereotypes I had in my mind when I came there were more about the environment. There will be like dirt everywhere, and it will be really nasty and ugly and everything. But it actually, yeah, it's like completely different than here in Europe, but I actually didn't mind. You just get used to that, and you just accept that they live like that and they are used to that. And I'm like not saying that it's like a good thing, but it was fine. And the other stereotype I had was that I will feel in danger most of the time, but this turned out not to be true, because after maybe a week or two, that feeling just went away, because the people there were so nice and so helpful, and they were really trying to help us, even though they didn't speak the language. So it was really nice to feel safe in like 6,500 kilometers away.
How did this internship change you as a person?
So it changed my whole perspective on life and how I look at world and everything. I know that sounds really cheesy, but it really changed a lot of things for me. I've met different people, different cultures, different religions, and even though I'm non-believer my whole life, it's helped me to understand like how does it work and how different it is from European religions. And yeah, it helped me a lot to. So it actually, all in all, it helped me to understand different people.
What kind of stereotypes did the natives have about you, the Europeans?
I'm not sure what kind of stereotypes they had, but they don't see, I hope it's not offending to say, but they are not used to see white people. So they were actually taking photographs of us, and they were always trying to take a selfie with us, and it was quite funny, maybe the first or second week. But after that time, it was kind of annoying. But I actually understood it because yes, it's something different, and they have different approach to things. But yeah, even in Slovakia, when something is different, or someone has a different color of skin, but some people are looking at them. So yeah, I completely understood that. But I have to admit, after some time, it was annoying.
I believe that this has nothing to do with the color of your skin. I'm sure that it's just because they see what kind of a star you really are. I would like a picture with you myself.
Don't we have a picture?
We should make more. I will make profit off of that. Is India an expensive country?
Not at all. Like when you're traveling, yes, the expenses are building up, but to live there is definitely not expensive. Food and accommodation, it's really cheap. The only thing that costed me that much were the plane tickets, and I'm not gonna lie, it was alcohol also, as alcohol is not that popular there, so it's quite expensive, yes. I would compare it to Slovakia.
Do you stay in contact with the people you met during this internship?
Yeah, I have a few friends that I'm still in contact with. It's not like a regular texts or anything, but it's maybe we are just trying to know each other's lives by like stalking Instagrams and everything. And yeah, and also I have my friend Aisha. She was my roommate during the stay. And I promised her that I will come to Turkey one day, but then Corona happened and I didn't have time. But I still think of that, and I definitely will go to see her because she was really amazing, and I actually quite miss her. So yeah, I will try to go there as soon as possible.
As I mentioned in the very, very beginning of our talk, you are responsible for exchange in IAESTE Slovakia. What motivated you to go to such a high position?
At first, I didn't want to go for such a high position. I wanted to just help IAESTE with exchange. I wanted to help people go abroad. and also to come here to Slovakia to show them that we are a really great country to visit and they can learn something here. And so that was my first motivation, and I still have it. And after some time, I just realized that maybe I can do more on a higher position. So I tried that, and yeah, so here I am.
Do you feel a lot of responsibility on your shoulders?
Yes, of course, I feel a lot of responsibility, but it goes with the position, so I was prepared for that. But I have a great team. My exchange team is really incredible, and also I have my support group of my ladies in national committee, and also it's great to do this with my best friend Lubita, who is our national secretary. So it's sometimes it's hard, but it's definitely worth it.
What kind of IAESTE conferences did you take a part in?
So my first conference was LEAP in Poland. It was for more experienced members, and it was really amazing. I've learned a lot there. And then I went to Slovenia for CEC, and I've met a lot of people there, and it was really incredible. And the nature was really beautiful there. And of course, there were annual conferences. I went as a part of a Slovak delegation 2 times. First time here in Slovakia, which was definitely the best. And now in January we had online conference, and yes, I was also a part of the delegation. And my responsibility was to exchange all the offers, to meet with the people from different countries. And I think it was successful both times. So yeah, happy to say it was successful.
What are your plans for the future? Will you try to overthrow Lubica as a national secretary, or maybe just go straight for the president of the universe? What next?
So I'm definitely not going to run for president or for national secretary, but I think I will stay here for 1 more year, and then we will see. But I think in the meanwhile, I will just change my mind and I will just try to give a place to someone else, because you cannot do this for a really long time and be productive and come with new ideas and everything.
Well, you still managed to do that. And honestly, I cannot stop listening to you, but our time is quite sadly limited. Let me thank you once again for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, Tonko and Betka.
What a pleasure it really was, huh? My name is Stone, and together, Betka, we will see you in the next one. Stay safe.